Hello and welcome to Comic Historian Weekly. Today it is myself and Andrew. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, Dan. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
All right, good.
All right, so what have you been up to this week?
No,
Andrew?
not a lot. Just been hanging out with the wife, really.
Well, all right.
All right.
Short week of comics.
Exactly.
So let's
It was
jump
like
right in.
6 altogether, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe 7. We'll talk. All right, so we'll go back to
We
normal
should've kept
because
doing that.
no, yours was annoying me.
Why?
Because you were kind of like veering in and out of different regions.
Sorry.
Anyway, well, let us know if you want us to do it all in English accents next time. Anyway, number 1 that we're going to start with this week, like we just said, short week.
Yeah, it is true.
It is short week.
Yes.
We do film this live at twitch.tv/comicstorian every Monday after our mystery cast at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can support us over there with a subscription, a follow, or you can join us over at patreon.com/comicstorian. And for $2, you get access to this podcast, other podcasts, and great early content. All right, so let's jump right in. The first one of the week is Aquaman 56. Did you read this one?
Let me see the cover.
It's The Trench Have Returned.
Yes, so this was it did not continue the Aquaman story. This was like a flashback to when, they basically, off of the first New 52 arc, Aquaman had thought he defeated the Trench and like sealed them away and killed the Queen, yada, yada, yada. Turns out not so much. And basically just kind of refights them again. It was a fun little story. It wasn't anything crazy.
It took a little while for me to notice that it was a flashback. At first I was like, do they know what's going on?
And when did he shave his beard?
Yeah, and I thought she was pregnant. Why does she keep talking about not wanting to be pregnant?
Very
but
strange.
It does eventually wrap up and go back to the conclusion.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It was just you don't really need it.
Yeah, it definitely seems like this is going to be definitely a filler, not necessary for a major arc kind of thing. So that was Aquaman 56. Next up on the list is Avengers 29. This was good. Mm-hmm. So Avengers, right now, they're off in space and they're trying to find the new Starbrand, who is essentially the Hulk before the Hulk came into existence, and is known as the Earth's most primitive defense system, essentially. Right. Yeah. And they're in space trying to find the Starbrand in like essentially a prison universe.
Is what it seemed like, yeah.
And it looks like all the Heralds of Galactus are here trying to stop them. They're trying to find them. The Shi'ar Empire trying to find them. It's essentially a race to see who can get the Starbrand first, because everyone else is like, we need to kill it.
Right.
And the Avengers are like, no, that's ours.
Yeah, we need
Don't
the
touch
Starbrand,
our stuff. We called dibs. But the twist at the end with finally kind of revealing the Starbrand, I'm really interested to see where this is going.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that an established character?
It's not.
Okay.
That's why I'm so excited, because I love when we get powerful people that are not just, oh, this person got more powerful.
Right.
Or stuff, this person got the Infinity Gem. Like, I always enjoy when it's a brand new person. So I do hope they kind of keep to that and really do it justice.
Right.
But this arc has really been growing on me.
Like, at first it was kind of but yeah, I would say it has gotten better.
I feel like it's going to be, if you have been waiting, I feel like it's going to be a great trade.
Yes, so I would say.
That is Avengers 29. Next up on our list that I am going down because there are so few.
Yeah.
And they're so few and far in between that it's tricky finding them sometimes. So
that's why I texted you yesterday. I was like,
yeah,
did I miss a bunch of books? What happened?
If you enjoy the Dark Horse Dragon Age comics, Dragon Age Blue Wraith #1 did start this week, so worth checking out if you enjoy Dragon Age. Flash Forward #5 came out this week. That is a Benny book.
No, I have been reading these ones.
You have been reading this one. Okay,
so this one is Wally West has been pulled. This is after the awful Heroes in Crisis. Wally West was pulled from our universe by Tempest Fuginot to help clean up the dark infection of the multiverse, I guess.
Okay.
So he was moving through different ones. He fought he ended up in Vampire World and yada yada, different places. So this one, he ends up on a final world, I guess, that is actually created from the Dark Multiverse, and he sees versions of his kids that he lost after the Flashpoint and things like that. So basically, the book is just him discovering what this dark planet is. I don't want to reveal too much because it is kind of an interesting twist.
Okay.
There's only one issue left in this miniseries, so I'm not sure how. Honestly, I don't really know how they're going to finish up. I assume he'll end up back in the normal. It's not like they're going to kill Wally again.
Right. That'd be funny. That would be awful.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure how they're going to end it. I have enjoyed this little miniseries actually. Oh, yeah, I thought it was a fun look at the multiverse and kind of Wally West.
Yeah.
And even though he's still kind of getting over the whole Heroes in Crisis thing, it's still Wally West, so he's kind of a fun character. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right,
I would recommend it.
I'll probably read it once it's fully wrapped up at this point. All right, so next up is Iron Man 2020. This is issue number 1 of 6. I do want to mention that this was the director's cut that came out this week. That's why it's a little bit more expensive. So most likely in the next week or two, the normal version will come out. So this one is continuing in the Tony Stark Iron Man. Tony Stark is essentially like, I'm not real. Tony died. I am an AI that thinks that he is him. Arno Stark takes advantage of that and is essentially like, well, Stark Industries is now mine because I'm the living Stark person. And he is now Iron Man 2020. He also has resurrected his parents, Maria and Howard Stark, essentially in the same way that Tony Stark is back. But this is starting off the essentially Arno Stark versus robots. Did you read this one?
I did not. No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a huge
Now your faces
Iron
are
Man.
making more sense. I thought you had read it.
No.
So it was actually pretty good. So Machine Man is leading the resistance of the AI robots that, after everything that has happened, they have had all their rights wiped out, essentially.
Okay.
So this is very much going to be a big, should AI have rights or not? Because currently they have no rights, which means Tony Stark has no rights.
Right, okay.
I also learned a fun fact in this one that apparently hotels do not have a 13th floor.
Yes.
Which I was not aware was like a
bad luck.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that is actually related to this comic. There's a specific reason I mentioned that.
Okay.
And it's a very cool, I don't want to spoil it because I was definitely excited when I read it.
Okay.
It's very interesting. So I would recommend this if you're interested in a Iron Man that's more willing to go the extra mile against robots.
Okay.
Like normally Iron Man would deactivate the robots somehow.
Yeah.
Well, Arno shoots one of their heads off.
Well,
and like the people are like
machines from rising.
Exactly, but one of the guys is like, you just blew his head off. Like people are kind of not sure how to react to the new Iron Man because if he's willing to go this far against robots, what is he going to do? And it's definitely some cool groundwork that it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. Tony Stark, I have a feeling it's going to be a key factor in this story. He is off the wagon. So he is drinking again and all of that because of what happened in the dreamscape or the mindscape, whatever they called it in the previous story arc. But I enjoyed it. If you want to read more about Iron Man 2020 of Tony, I almost said Tony Hawk. Tony Stark is an AI and Arno Stark as Iron Man. It's worth reading.
I'd read a book with Tony Hawk as Iron Man. That'd be sweet, yeah.
He's got his skateboard turns into the suit.
That'd be sweet. Come on.
That would be amazing, actually.
It's so 90s, too.
It would be so 90s. All right. Jessica Jones Blind Spot, number 1 of a 6-issue miniseries did start up this week. We do not read that. We didn't buy it, so I assumed he had not read it. Jimmy Olsen, number 7, came out this week. We fell off of that. That's just not our thing. However,
I think Benny's still reading it, but yeah.
I think so, but he's not here at the moment. So next one that I read, I'm pretty sure you read, Justice League Odyssey, number 17.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I liked it. Okay. This is I've been a fan of this series since the beginning. So this one, Jessica Cruz and Orion meet up with Victor again, Cyborg, who's now very much a new
Evil
apocalyptic god. Yeah.
A new god.
A new god. A newer god. Newest god. And then we're also getting
newer god.
You're also getting the side story of Blackfire, Dexstar, and the technician
Hacks.
there. Yeah, like finding a time.
It was very interesting. However, I did like that they finally gave that scientist a purpose.
Yeah, something to do. Yeah,
like they finally were like, hey, so she's just been in the background this whole time and she's supposed to be super smart. Let's actually utilize that.
Right, yeah.
And then, we learned that there's a weird part of time that's somehow reversed.
Yeah,
in time.
something. Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. That's for sure. Because I don't know.
That was probably like the plot, the forward movement of the plot, I guess, in this issue. The rest of it is Jessica Cruz and Orion fighting against Cyborg and the Angels of Apocalypse, no longer the Parademons, or Parangels, I think they're called. Yeah, and Zotar, yeah. So, I've really enjoyed this book. I think the art has definitely fallen, I feel, in this new story arc.
It's weird thing about the art is you can tell that it, or at least seems to be a new artist, but it seems like the new artist is trying to replicate the old art.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say he's hitting it very well. It sounded weird.
But it's it's not bad art.
No, it's not bad. Yeah. It's just not as good as it used to be, in my opinion.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I would
definitely recommend this series.
Oh, hands down. Yeah. I've been really enjoying it. I'm excited to see what happens with Jessica Cruz. That is my biggest thing with this.
At the end of this, yeah.
I want to know what happened. So that is Justice League Odyssey number 17. Next up is the League of Legends comic Zed number 3. Very, very fun, very good story. So Zed, if you play the game, is an assassin. He used to be in a brotherhood with Shen, who is... He's kind of like the leader of an ancient order that's supposed to be like the protector of the land kind of thing.
Okay.
And the Jin has arrived and has been killing people.
Okay.
Long ago, when Shen and Zed were friends, they fought Jin before. Zed and Shen since then have... Zed killed Shen's dad, so obviously they're at each other's throats. But they're now trying to find Jin, and it's just interesting seeing the different characters act in the way that they would in the game. And in this one, if you play the game, they explain how Zed got his powers that he uses with the shadows and stuff. Very, very cool. I've been really enjoying this. It's hard to talk too much about because there is so much about the game that you kind of need to know.
I was going to say, I don't
but
know
if you do play,
is, so.
If you do play the game, it's a fantastic story. If you don't play the game but want to read a cool, like, older times of like ninjas and like samurai and stuff like that, it's worth reading. I've been really enjoying it. So
okay.
That is Zed number 3. Next up is Legion of Superheroes number 3. I don't think either of us read this.
Nah.
I believe this one, I only saw a short bit, so I can't tell you everything that happened. But Superboy takes Damian Wayne to the future.
Okay.
That's the small bit that I saw. I don't know much else, so that's that. Next up, one that I enjoyed. Oh, sorry. I enjoyed the one later. No, the Marvel Tales Ravencroft number 1 did come out, but I believe that this might have been a different one, or I missed an issue. Oh, no, sorry. This is a one of the 80th anniversary stories about Ravencroft. You'll see why I got excited about that later. The Marvel's Black Widow Prelude 2-issue series started this week. I don't know about you. I don't read preludes.
I don't generally know.
I don't care.
I'm good with the movies. Yeah, you don't generally learn a lot of stuff that you would need to know for the movies. So
it's a shame this week that a lot of the comics that came out just are not really our comics, and some of them are just too far in. But Spider-Man of the Gamerverse, I always skip over the Gamerverse forgetting it's an actual thing.
Right, yeah.
The Marvel Spider-Man The Black Cat Strikes #1 came out this week.
So I did check this one out because
Okay.
I have been reading those Game Reverse ones.
Okay.
Well, the Spider-Man ones, I should say. So this one is essentially the story of the Black Cat DLC.
Okay.
So if you didn't get a chance to play the Black Cat DLC, which I actually didn't, it's it's good. It continues the story of the Spider-Man Game Reverse. You still have the art is pretty good in the inside, and like I said, it continues that or it does that Black Cat DLC story. So you get some of the history of Black Cat in this universe with Peter Parker, kind of like their whole backstory, which is different than the normal comics.
Oh, okay.
And then it goes into the DLC story. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And like I said, but I've been enjoying these Game Reverse ones. So if you weren't a fan of the PS4 Spider-Man, or you weren't a fan of the Game Reverse Spider-Man comics, you're probably not going to enjoy this one either.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much
That's
what it boils
the Marvel
down to.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
The Black Cat Strikes. Next, Nightwing #68 came out this week. I think everyone in the office fell off of Nightwing.
Yeah. I'll eventually jump back on it.
Yeah.
When it becomes Nightwing again.
One that I did not realize came out because the cover threw me off. Rye #3 from Valiant came out.
Oh, yeah, I missed that
I've been
one, yeah.
reading that
Yeah.
one, so I'm sad that I missed it. However, I did read Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider #2 of the 5-issue miniseries. Did you get a chance to read this one?
No, I honestly am not huge on the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
So
Most of his stories I've read I didn't enjoy, so I just kind of ignore it.
So this one is I was talking to Benny about this because we were talking about the Cosmic Ghost Rider destroys Marvel history,
Right, that
and
was the
how
one I
it
really didn't like.
flopped.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this was them going, okay, that flopped. We like the character. Let's have him kill everyone across the universe.
I see. Okay.
It's working because I'm enjoying it.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's interesting because so in the previous issue, Frank Castle saved this girl that was a part of the pirates and is claiming that she is pure innocence. And so it's very interesting. Just like what?
Just like me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because she keeps wanting to kill people. And Frank's like, no, you can't do that. And kills them before she can. And she's like, stop kill blocking me. She says that, don't worry. But then it gets to the point where he actually starts to kind of explain why he's saving her, why he feels okay doing what he's doing, but doesn't want her doing it. Like, they do a little bit of explanation in this one. And I've been enjoying this. If you like just him going on a murderous rampage, it's worth reading. And they do kind of reference the very crazy nature where he's like, look, when you've been alive and had your head on fire as long as I have, it tends to fry up a little bit.
I could see that.
So when he did that, I was like, I'm glad they finally referenced that it's not
why
the
does
same.
why does he not sound like Frank Castle?
Yeah. But with this one, I've been really enjoying it. I actually do recommend this series, especially since it's a 5-issue miniseries.
And what issue are we on?
This was only #2.
Oh, #2.
So
okay. Maybe
we're
I'll
at
give
the
it a shot.
beginning. Definitely a good time to jump on. Next up is the one that I was excited for earlier. Ruins of Ravencroft, Sabretooth #1.
All right, this is a good one.
I'll let you talk about this one.
So this is more of the Ruins of Ravencroft. We get a little bit more of the history of Ravenclaw. The only issue I have with this series, let me finish my synopsis real quick. So you get more of the history of Ravencroft, and you also get, obviously, the present time where it's Reed Richards, Misty Knight, Mayor Kingpin, and
Mr. Fantastic. Oh, sorry, you said Reed Richards.
Werewolf by Night, whatever his real name is, John
Jameson.
John Jameson, thank you. They're kind of going through Ravencroft now that after the absolute carnage, it was destroyed. So you get more of the history of Ravencroft, which is really cool. It's really dark.
I love the way that it's written too.
They write it as if it is actually the history or part of history of United States as well as the Marvel Universe. And then in the present day, they fight weird vampire, zombie, mutant, monster things. I guess. Yeah.
Let's just say that they mentioned that one of the doctors was Dr. Essex, a.k.a. Mr. Sinister.
See, that I like.
See, now it makes sense, the crazy creatures that start attacking.
So, while I really enjoy the mixture of the normal Marvel universe and how they have all these like there's this darkness to it that you didn't already know about, such as Mr. Sinister, Dr. Essex, Sabretooth is an orderly and an insane asylum, which I don't know why you would hire him just based off of the way he looks. Let's be honest. He doesn't cut his fingernails, people. Like, I wouldn't want him as my orderly. Anyway, what I kind of don't like, but then like at the same time, is this idea that the history of the Marvel Universe that you think you know isn't real, or not that it's not real, but it goes back a lot farther.
Right.
Where, like, apparently Absolute Carnage the Carnage Cult, or whatever they call it, was around for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
At one point, Wolverine was in an insane asylum and had been lobotomized and lost his hand. I like it, but then I don't like it at the same time, which is a really weird thing for me. Yeah. Like Black Knight was apparently around in like the 1800s,
right?
And things like, it's like, how did nobody know about this before? That's probably what it more is. How does nobody know about this beforehand? You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. I could see
the retcon. I guess is more of my issue with it. Not that I don't enjoy what the retcon is.
From the sound of it, though, from my interpretation, reading it, is the whole point of the place was no one knew what was going on.
I mean, that's a good point.
I think they're emphasizing on that to combat that complaint.
I could see that.
Well, continuity said that they're not there.
Right.
And it's like, yes, but they're not telling you that they were there. Just like
nobody knew they were there until this point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that.
And so I think that's kind of what they're going for. And I really like it's all written and told essentially in the point of view of a guy that's writing a diary.
Right. Yes.
And it's just so well written that it's been a while since I've read something with this little action that I've been like, give me the next issue. Yeah, I want to know what's going to happen. I think the next one is Mr. Fantastic. I can't remember.
Turns out the Fantastic Four has been around since the 1800s.
Oh my gosh. He's actually a product of a Dr. Sinister project. I'm trying to find to see what the next one's going to be. Dracula is the next one.
Hell yeah, it is.
So I'm excited to read that one.
Yeah,
I've been really enjoying this series.
Yeah, I did go back and read the first one as well, based off of what you were saying last week, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely worth reading. Definitely worth picking up. Very, very well written. So, moving on from there, we have The Batman's Grave, number 4. Did you? I know you. I've been reading this.
It's not a bad Batman story. I wouldn't say it's crazy out there. It's a mystery. Batman is discovering it, and this feels very much like almost like Ben Affleck's Batman to me, because he like straight up is practically murdering people in this book. Like, he's beating the crap out of them. He's throwing batarangs through their hands.
Jesus.
Yeah, I would say the art is really good if you like Brian Hitch. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying it. It's just, I wouldn't say it's like, it's not a mind-altering Batman story. It's not, I'm like, the best Batman story you're ever going to read.
Right.
It's a very good Batman story, but it's nothing crazy.
However, relative to Tom King's,
is fantastic. It is a fun look. It is a fun Batman story.
Right.
It's a murder mystery. He's trying to figure it out. This is, I want to say, issue 4, correct?
Yes.
He's kind of figured it out, but he's still trying to.
And it is a 12-issue series.
Oh wow! I thought it was about to end. So maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Because it seems to me like they're about to like wrap it up.
Right.
But we're not even halfway there yet, so
interesting.
So it could get even crazier. But so far, 4 issues in, it is a very well written Batman story. I would just say it's nothing like, greatest Batman story I've ever read,
right?
That sort of thing. But very enjoyable. I would recommend it.
All right,
especially over Tom King's Batman.
Especially if you need to rinse your mouth.
Yeah. Still got a horrible taste in your mouth from Tom King's Batman.
Next up, The Flash 86 did come out this week.
Not Flash, people.
That's Benny book. And he is not here, as you probably noticed by
because
it
it's
being
quiet. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Can't hear them.
The Low Woods #2 came out. I'm mentioning this because it is part of DC's horror series.
Yes. I missed this one.
He missed this one, so
Did we buy it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thor #1 came out this week, so if you didn't get it when it was the director's cut, you can get the normal $5 issue.
It's very
this
good.
Week.
I would recommend it.
Fantastic!
A good start
excited.
to the new Thor. Yes.
Next up after that is Valkyrie, Jane Foster #7. So this is continuing the Death of Death, and Jane Foster has recruited a superhero team of doctor-based heroes. So you've got people like Doctor Strange, the Night Nurse, Mannequin, Jane Foster, obviously. There's someone else.
Excalibur.
Yeah, Excalibur.
The sword, not the ancient British hero.
And then there's one other dude who looks like Mr. Miracle.
I can't remember his name now. Anyway,
it was a pretty good story. It was very interesting to see doctors reacting in the way that they did, because they definitely treated everything like a doctor. This is the immune system doing this. If the immune system's not doing it, it means that there must be a virus, and so they go through a bunch of stuff like that, and it was very, very interesting. But personally, I feel like I felt kind of gypped with how it wrapped up.
It was a little anticlimactic, I think.
I felt like they were leading up for something huge,
and it was just like,
and then they were like,
done.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't the biggest fan of that. It was kind of cool seeing a bunch of doctors reacting the way that they did, but I don't know. I feel like maybe if they had another issue of this arc, they could have done more.
I feel like it kind of ended quickly, too.
Yeah, I kind of wanted a fight, a doctors versus, like an actual fight, so... That aside, it was a good issue. It's worth finishing the arc because this does seem to be the conclusion of the arc.
It does seem to be, yeah.
And it seems like the next issue, she's going to be running into Thor.
Based off of the cover, yes.
Yes, based off of the cover. She will be running into Thor.
No, she is Valkyrie.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I do not think so. So that was Valkyrie, Jane Foster #7. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about it?
No, I mean, overall I did enjoy it, and I have been enjoying this Valkyrie series as a whole. Like you said, it kind of, not that the ending was bad.
Oh, no.
It was just kind of like, and we're done.
It could have been more.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit more epic. But yeah.
So that was Valkyrie 7.
Also, not enough horse.
Definitely not enough talking horse.
Yes.
All right, so next up, I was very conflicted about this one, so I'm very curious to see what you think.
Okay.
Venom the End, #1.
I didn't like it.
I disliked it and liked it at the same time.
Okay.
I liked it because the story seemed cool. It seemed like a great idea.
It was an interesting idea, yes.
The writing didn't like it.
Yes.
Because the writing was either all over the place.
Yeah.
Very kind of like jokey, like Deadpool-ish at times. And they clearly wanted to overcomplicate things 90% of the comic that I was like, stop.
It was an interesting idea, this fact that...
I guess I should give the synopsis.
Sure, go ahead.
So essentially, the end series are the end of this character. They explain
a version of this
character.
Yes, because there has been numerous The Last Wolverine stories. So
yeah,
it's a particular version of an end of a character.
And in this one, it's Venom, and it shows that he kept Eddie alive as long as possible, like becoming the neurons in his brain.
Yeah, like really keeping him alive when he shouldn't have. Yeah,
really, really keeping him alive. But then we learned that like he's going forward, and the AI technology is having a giant war. Venom's off trying to recreate biological life, creates an entire like universe where he creates life. And we learned that he can just unlock mutant abilities of people that he is bonded with, where he's like, and then he got to the ancient powers of Multiple Man and Quicksilver, and
healing
elixir.
factor.
And, and so they started really, really going into, hey, he was everyone, so he's got every power. He was with this person.
And then he unlocked time travel, so he could literally be anyone at any time.
Exactly. And it just kind of got crazier and crazier and crazier. And they just kept saying, because they were using like technology as one of them, they're like, and then the Ecto-Secto bots, and you're like, what? With the Jinglewitz programming.
41 gigawatts.
But it was just confusing to read, and I feel like if they had literally cut out half the words in this issue, it would have been fantastic. Because I loved the story. I loved the idea of the story of Venom that can unlock the powers of people that he'd been part of because of the Codex being ingrained, like part of them. And like I liked that, but it was just so wordy and so just out there goofy at times. I was like,
it was more like a goofy sci-fi thing. I wouldn't even say it was an epic just because of the way it was told.
Yeah.
Personally, I felt it was both too wordy and not enough story all at the same time, if that makes any sense. The art itself was fine, but overall, probably one of my least favorite the end issues that they've ever done.
Right.
Yeah.
At least the art was all right.
The art was good. The art was solid. And I don't know. It was such a weird take on the Venom character, too.
Yeah.
It was like, because, I mean, they've done kind of like the sci-fi Venom before where, you know, like when Flash Thompson became like the Space Knight and things like that. So it's not like there's no, and obviously Venom is an alien. So it's not like there's no precedent for Venom being some sort of galactic epic hero. But this went like even farther than that, and it was I wasn't feeling it, honestly. I wasn't a big fan.
There were parts that were cool. Like I did like whenever he used the powers of someone, he like resembled them.
Right.
So like when he became multiple man, like he had
looked
the
like multiple
and
man
stuff, and I thought that was cool. But yeah, if this one, I will 100% say will be a very hit or miss. You're either going to like it or you're going to hate it.
I mean, realistically, with all of the ends, yeah, probably.
But that is actually the last comic of the week.
Oh, well. Okay.
Yeah. So this was a very short episode.
Undiscovered by Scott Snyder and Charles.
Undiscovered
Soule.
Country?
Undiscovered Country. Thank you. Yes. Number 3 came out. That is a fantastic series. It's out of Image Comics right now. The art is great. The story is good and crazy as hell. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's going on. In the idea is that America walled itself off, right, and was like, "We're good. Everybody, leave us alone. We're fine." And then I think it's supposed to be 30 years later, a group gets a message saying like, "Hey, America's doing great. Why don't you guys come in and visit?"
Right. And
then when those people come in and visit, they get shot down. And America is now populated by walking sharks and crazy mutants.
Hold on.
It's like Mad Max to like the 12th power.
Are you when you say
I'm saying
walking
sharks that have legs and are walking on land. Like this. Look at me.
Is that bird wearing?
Yes. So it is a great series. It's really crazy, a lot of fun. I believe it's going to be 12 issues. This is the third one. I'm really enjoying it. This is one of the ones I actually personally physically buy. So
interesting. Yeah. That actually
I'm a big
sounds
fan
really
so far.
Cool.
Yeah. And there's like a lot of twists and turns and plot twists so far with the characters. I don't want to spoil too much. If you are going to read it, I would suggest it. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's Undiscovered Country number 3. But yeah, that brings us to the end of today's podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. We do apologize that it was a shorter one, but as things go, we can't really control how many books they put out.
We can start making up books.
We start making them up. We'll start throwing one in there, and you have to guess which one's the fake comic.
Ooh,
that actually sounds like
a lot of fun.
It'd be a fun idea. Anyway, guys, you can support us by joining us over at twitch.tv/comicstorian, where we record this live every Monday after our mystery cast at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can support us over there with a $5 or Twitch Prime sub. You can also support us over at Patreon, patreon.com/comicstorian, where for $2 you get access to this podcast, other podcasts, and other great early content. thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you want to find more of Andy, he is for I Am the Andy on Instagram. And if you want to find more of me, I am Dan T Producer on Twitter and Instagram, and Dan T Streamer on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.